today for Vishan Venkaya, Sean Cormack.
Reliable filly, albeit she doesn't win out of turn. Her last four, second, third, and second. It was another good run last start. She's very bomb-proof. You can put wherever you want her in the run. There's not a lot of her, however, and she is on the back up.
Number 7, Parisian Lady for Liam Birchley and Robbie Dolan. She has won on a heavy track before.
She backs up too, and there was excuses last start when she was wide in transit. She's going to love the heavy 10 conditions.
And the 8, The Love of Mary, rounds us out for Michael Morrison, and Anthony Allen has drawn the fence.
Pulled up lame 2 starts ago when it was well beaten, but was a much improved run in a benchmark 58 for the fillies and mares last start. I'm respecting the market, so expect an improving run.
Fantastic yard comments, Kian. Important information to relay. The protest was dismissed after race 3. So we did have a protest second against first for interference at the 700-metre mark. And boy, oh boy, was there some interference, but not enough to justify the length and a half margin. And from what we've heard, it was a very interesting protest in those behind closed doors.
And particularly where the interference occurred. We should do a little bit of educating on interference protests and what holds weight in the podcast, Joycey.
Of course we should, Can you write that down and put it in that spreadsheet that you keep updating?
Yes.
Thank you. Late mail time. 5, 4, 2 and 8. 5 Papal Miss goes on top. I'm hoping for win number 2 at start 35. Maybe today's the day. She does like a wet track. We saw her run second at Ipswich on a heavy 10, 4 starts back. Since then, she hasn't missed a placing. So she's racing as consistently as ever. She just lacks that killer punch. But on a day like today, when they all struggle to get through these heavy 10 tracks, she just might get through it the best. The 4 Will Not Quit. Another horse that will stay all day. She'll need to get through the 1800 here. What time's your comedy routine again, Kian? Is it on locally?
After the last, Joycey.
7:30. Is it free entry or do you have to cover charge?
No. It's good. You've got to pay you well. It's like the Super Bowl. It's like $14,000 a ticket to get into my show.
So go via Ticketek. Go into the KiansComedyShow.com. Number 2, Chance with Wolves. He could definitely win. He won well on the heavy track here. 2 starts back over the mile. He ploughed through the ground that night. And then last start, I thought he had some excuses. He just had to go too deep on the track. And number 8, The Love of Mary. Well, Love of Mary's also won on a heavy track. So all of these have shown glimpses of wet track form. Ironside's vying for favouritism. He's the only one that hasn't. But, as you said, he's a grey. And he's got big flat feet.
He's got flat feet. He's got no heel. So I think he'll just love. Joycey, the last 600 in the last race?
40.4 seconds.
An absolute slog.
Or thereabouts. 40 point something.
Slogathon.
So what are you going to tip here?
Look at him. He's a lovely horse. This Josh King just turns out horse after horse. So he's a really boutique stable that I follow. I don't know a lot about Josh. I know he used to be a jockey. He looks like a horseman. And he certainly turns these horses out in great style there for the Windermere Stud. As I said in the mounting yard, he didn't do a lot last start, but he copped some good bumps, and he was already too far back from the action as it was. And I think he just hung up the boots after that. He said, no, I've just copped about 14 bumps. I'm not going to try anymore. But second up when he was rushed out to the mile, he was really, really good. He pulled nice ground late behind Gracie Blue, who's absolutely airborne at the moment. And I think there's enough to say that he can remedy that, I guess, below par third up run. The 4 in Will Not Quit just didn't handle the 5-day backup, was very flat last start. Prior to that, been running good races in Tougher, has a good on-speed racing style. Papal Miss, she's bomb-proof, put her anywhere in the run. She looks well, continues to look well for a horse that seems to go around every week. And she always tries. And then Parisian Lady will love the heavy 10. Some excuses last start, 1, 4, 5, 7.
Right, okay, only a field of 6, but as you can tell, pretty much every runner has some chance, and the market really hasn't quite worked it out yet either. Parisian Lady at 340, 10 cents shorter than the one Ironside. They've both dominated betting throughout, but there's been a sprinkling of money for Chance with Wolves. I always call that horse Chances with Wolves, don't I?
Matt, you call it Dances with Wolves. Remember the Kevin Costner movie?
Good movie.
That was a great movie.
Will Not Quit.
I think it's like Shane Scriven's favourite movie. He lent it to me on DVD so I could watch it.
How far back are we going here?
Oh, well, it wasn't video.
True. Wasn't it? Didn't give you his VHS.
Shane Scriven would still have one of those.
Who doesn't? Let's be
he's
honest.
a hoarder.
We've all got a video player somewhere stashed away.
I don't.
I think Ado's got one.
Yeah,
he's
Ado
definitely
would have
got one.
one.
He's got VHS stuff. He's just telling us he does. Wonder what his favourite movie would have been on the VHS back in the day. Heaven only knows. All right, they're loading up well here for race 4. Good luck with your bets. Let's head upstairs to Josh.
Stalls here. So 2 to move in. And we're nearly right for a dispatch as Paper Miss walks up and Ironside will complete the line. Joe Williams on board, Ironside. So protest dismissed on the previous event. Parasite retaining the race ahead of Cypher Prince. Light turned on for the 4th. Racing at the 1800 and away well the Love of Mary. Likewise Will Not Quit and 3 wide Parisian Lady. 4 out chance with Wolves going forward. Further back to Ironside and Paper Miss has gone back to the rear. It's Keen here, but 3 wide chance with Wolves takes over and leads the pack by a length and a half now from the Love of Mary on the inside and Will Not Quit. Further back to Ironside. On the fence of Parisian Lady and Paper Miss a length and a half away. So chance of Wolves here the leader. Seconds Will Not Quit. Third, the inside, the Love of Mary, followed by Ironside. And then Parisian Lady on the inside of Paper Miss as last of all, but no more than 4 or 5 lengths off the Lamplighter. So chance with Wolves here for young Casey Waddell's in front. Second, Will Not Quit for Mark Duplessis. And third, the Love of Mary for Anthony Allen. Fourth, the outside Ironside for Joe Williams. Now going forward 3 wide, making ground 3 deep on the track. Ironside working up into second now. Further back to Paper Miss and Sean Cormack. And now a Parisian Lady shuffle back to last of all for Robbie Dolan. Spots the speed about 6 lengths. They swing down the side. And in front chance with Wolves here by 3/4. Seconds Ironside as the heavens have opened up here. 2 lengths away. Third is Will Not Quit. The Love of Mary. Creeping forward Paper Miss over on the outside, and last of all is Parisian Lady. They've got about 500 metres left to run. Chance with Wolves in front. Seconds Ironside. Third, the outside making ground Paper Miss, and then Will Not Quit on the rail. Further back to Parisian Lady on the inside of the Love of Mary up to 400. Chance with Wolves in front. Seconds Ironside. Running home well as Paper Miss, and further back to Will Not Quit, and they're clear from Parisian Lady. Chance with Wolves has been joined here by Paper Miss on the outside. Running home well as Will Not Quit on the rails, and also down the outside Parisian Lady, but Paper Miss has grabbed the lead with 100 metres left to go. The outside Parisian Lady's out after Paper Miss, but it won't get there. Paper Miss has won from Parisian Lady and Will Not Quit, followed by Chance with Wolves. Further back to Ironside and the Love of Mary pulling up at the rear.
She's just a little beauty, and that is Paper Miss. She's gone second, third, second, and now a win at start number 35, win number 2. So she doesn't win out of turn, but she's always picking up checks, and she deserves that. That was on the backup as well. Absolute bomb-proof mare by... I'm not sure. All right, she goes in for first. 7 is Parisian Lady. Good run on the backup. Will Not Quit grabs third, much improved, and Chance with Wolves. So it is 5, 7, 4, and 2. Joycey, as we head to Nowra.
Race 5 is the Hanlon's Windows Class 1.
Back to the Sunshine Coast. Race 5 is up next, a Class 1 handicap over the 1,800 metres, and it's also the first leg of this afternoon's quaddie. Kean Dickens with the form comments. Number 1, Gripping, trained by Jason Patton. Jai Williams rides. He'll take 1.5 kilos off.
Really good disguised run first up. He was slow away, didn't have a lot of room when he was building up the revs down the straight, and I thought he worked through the line really well. Loves the towing.
The crossover comes off as well today on Gripping. Number 2, Flash Prince for the Brian Dayas yard. Luke Tarrant takes the ride.
I was always wide when returning. Gets up to a more suitable trip today.
Number 3, Joe Mummer. Lindsay Goff has taken control of this 4-year-old, and the results have improved rapidly with the last start win. Georgina Cartwright up.
Yeah, it was a good win. It was an on-speed win that's going to suit here today. And Frijoles, the horse that it beat, has since won its maiden too. So has handled a heavy 8 surface. This is 3 preps ago. I looked through its form and it gets through it well.
Righto, number 4, Kokorian is our well-backed favourite. Jamie Bayliss trains and son Jake Bayliss takes the ride.
He looks like he's forecasted him perfectly for this race and being fourth up because he looks the best he's looked all prep. We've pretty much seen him every run. He rolls forward. He profiles well for where the rail is today. He didn't offer a lot at the business end after sitting on speed last up, but that was a Class 3 and he comes back to a Class 1.
Let's head down to the 7, Friole, for one of your favourite trainers, Gary Schwenke. Nozi Tomazawa takes the ride, broke through at start number 17.
She'd really been knocking on the door. She sees out a strong 1800, where a few of these others there's a question mark, and she always tries, just like the winner of the last race in Papalmius.
Number 8, Carrara for Sean Dwyer and Dale Smith, is still a maiden, but has contested a couple of benchmark 58s, and she's never too far off.
Yeah, she's eligible for easier, but really, this is just an 1800 metres Class 1, basically, so I think it's not too much tougher, and her runs in the maidens will be good with plenty of merit.
The 10, Power Glider, the next one to have a look at for Christos Intillis. Casey Waddell aboard, 2 kilos off.
Looks well in the yard. Perhaps the featherweight will improve that form.
And the 11 rounds us out, Wall to Wall for Trevor Thomas and Nathan Thomas.
Comes back in trip off jumping trip rather off recent effort, so just hard to see it turn the table on its recent form.
Welcome back live to the Sunshine Coast. Race 5 is up next, and it is the first leg of this afternoon's quaddie. We had another shower of rain, as you could tell in the 4th race, but it's moved on. It's quite clear at the moment. So once again, we head down to get through these 8 races this afternoon on a heavy 10 surface. And we've had a really well-backed runner here. Number 4, Kirkorian, was $3 this morning, Kian, and opened up at $2.50 officially about half an hour ago and is now into $2.05. So they just keep backing Kirkorian here today. As a result of that, everything else is easy except for the 10, Power Glider, which has been spec 26 into 21. What did you make of Kirkorian in the yard?
Looks good. Looks the best he's looked. He's all 4 runs, so looks good. Looks the best he's looked. He's all 4 runs, so I think he's timed it to perfection to get him to peak today.
Perfect, because I've got him on top. 4, 3, 1 and 8, the late mail. I think he can bounce and lead. That seems to be his racing pattern since he's come up to Queensland. He's had those 3 runs back to get himself fit. And today should be the day he controls the tempo in front. Although really what we've seen from 4 races, it hasn't been as obvious as we thought it might be with this rail out 12. Papal Miss.
Yeah, once they wear that pad, you know, it's, they come from anywhere.
Yeah,
so credit to the track.
She sustained a 3-wide run and she was too good. So it's holding up really well. Number 3, Joe Mama, it's your other leader, but did lead on a good track at Gatton last start over the mile. Now has to stretch to the 1800 on a heavy 10. So we're just not sure whether he'll stay the trip. But Lindsay Goff has certainly got him going well. And he actually meets Friole better at the weights for when they clashed, was it 2 starts back at Gatton. So he gets in really well under those conditions. Number 1, Gripping. I know you liked his first up run at Doomben behind Snow Boom. He found a bit of trouble, didn't he, in the straight there? But he was poking through late. The crossover comes off. They get a claim for Jai Williams. He's solid in the market. And number 8, Carrara, just stepping slightly out of grade here today. She is still eligible for a maiden, but they're having a crack here at the Class 1. So 4, 3, 1 and 8 for me. How are you playing the 5th?
4, 1, 3 and 7. Odds on now. Wow. Kirkorian. Not sure if I'll take him at odds on. Let's just hope that when he wasn't offering a lot at the business end last start, it was perhaps because he was a touched out class, because it comes back to a Class 1, and I thought that should be the difference because he was beaten nearly 5 lengths on that occasion, and he just lacked any sort of dash. But he should be able to roll forward, and tactically Jake should be able to let this race play into his hands with a horse that's got a good racing style. The one in Gripping was a disguised run first up. A lot to like about it. Has to stretch to the 1800 second up. How forward is he? The 3 in Joe Mama, Goffy's horse, good on speed win. And that form's since been franked. And then Friole's, she tries really hard. We know she sees out a solid 1800, 4, 1, 3, 7.
Righto, Count. Thanks for that. We're both on this well-back favourite, Kirkorian. We both mapped him to bounce, roll forward, probably lead. Joe Mama, your other one that'll roll forward, I expect. And they look the 2. Maybe Friole goes forward as well.
Yeah, she can sit wherever you want her. She's a happy little thing. You can go forward, you can go back, and she'll run you a race.
All right, she's a happy little thing. There you go. Don't get much better summary
she just
than
likes
that.
her racing.
Kirkorian's into $1.90, so we've had some considering we're on a heavy 10 track, we have had some serious goes today, and so far, races 1 and 2, the punters came totally unstuck, and they're having another crack here today in the 5th. Let's hope things turn around for them. In between, we've had a couple of okay results at reasonable prices, but Kirkorian going to go off odds on by the look of things. Nothing else has been backed apart from the 4, and it would be a great result if Jamie and Jake could team up to get a winner. I think since Jamie's moved up here to Queensland, I don't think he's had a winner yet. I think he's had a couple of close ones.
This would be the first.
So this would be the first if he could crack it. And Jake, of course, rode the last 2 winners at Doomben yesterday, so he comes here in red-hot form. All right, they're loading up well. This is the first leg of the quaddie. Good luck if you're playing the quaddie this afternoon. Let's head upstairs to Josh.
Thank you, Dave. Good afternoon to you. And we've got 4 to move in, and you spoke about the track not being able to break 40 seconds, last 600 in the last 2 races over the 1800, and they barely broke 2 minutes. Just got under the 159 mark, so very, very wet. As we said before, now the 700 mils fallen here since January 1. So it's tough going out there, heavy, tender, safe. And conditions are clearer now than what they were for the previous event, which is wonderful. So Joe Mumler's moved in. Gripping goes into line, and Power Glider will go up. Kirkorian off the map into $1.80 with Tab here. It's been a big go for number 4. Drawn gate 3. Jake Bayliss riding for his dad, Jamie. Light blinking. Barrier 3, Kirkorian. They're racing. And Kirkorian hopped away well. Likewise, going forward as Joe Mummer out wide on the track. They're the first couple. Up into third as Carrabba. Frajoles 4th on the rail, followed by Gripping 3 wide going forward ahead of War to Wall. Drifting back, Flash Prince. Last of all is Power Glider. So Kirkorian's in front. Second, Joe Mummer. 2 lengths away, third is Frajoles on the fence, and wider out there, Gripping 3 wide around Carrabba. A length and a half to Wall, drifting back as Flash Prince, and second last of all is Power Glider, about 6 or 7 lengths off the leader. In front, Kirkorian here by a length, and second, Joe Mummer. Third and 3 wide, Gripping. Frajoles 4th on the inside of Carrabba, 5th. A length and 3/4 to Wall on the outside of Flash Prince, and still last of all is Power Glider. So Kirkorian heavily back the favourites in front by length and a quarter. Second, Joe Mummer. No luck for Gripping 3 wide, followed by Frajoles on the inside of Carrabba. A long way back, Flash Prince passing War to Wall back to second last, and creeping forward is Power Glider out 3 wide on the track. But Kirkorian down the side has slipped away. 3 lengths in front now. Joe Mummer's under extreme pressure. The insiders Frajoles and Gripping wide are out there clear at the moment from Flash Prince and Carrabba. Wider out there as back in behind those Power Glider, and War to Wall is last of all, but Kirkorian at the 400 metres mark is in front by 4. Second, Gripping. Third for Frajoles, and wider out Power Glider, and further back to Flash Prince, but Kirkorian at the 350 in front by 5 lengths here. Flash Prince is running home fairly. Down the outside, Power Glider. Further back to Gripping, but Kirkorian at the furlong marker is still nicely clear, led by 4. Second, Flash Prince. Gripping the inside, plugs away. Wider out to Power Glider, but Kirkorian, 50 metres left to run, 3 lengths clear, and Kirkorian heavily backed as one at second, Flash Prince, and third to Gripping, followed by War to Wall, Carrabba, Frajoles, Power Glider, and Joe Mummer at the rear.
Oh, well done. Kirkorian. Jake Bayliss combines with his father, Jamie Bayliss, to get a winner up here in Queensland. That is fantastic. Backed well, too. Backed into $1.70. I think I got $4 yesterday, Joyce. Is that correct?
Yeah, you would have got $4 yesterday, Kian.
Good
and they
move.
just kept coming and coming for it, and they've finally broken the shackles for these odds-on favourites today. We've got one home, and it was the first leg of the quaddie. And look at Jake. He's happy. He's a happy boy.
That's fantastic. For his dad, that must feel so good. 4-2-1-11. Perfectly rated, too. That horse doesn't offer a lot in terms of sprinting, so we ran them off the bit. Fantastic. 4-2-1-11 across the line. We'll take a short break on the other side now.